Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to teach you how to do this. I'll call this a 5-ball diamond palm spin technique. It's like a 4-ball pyramid with 1 ball below it inside your hands, just like that, rested between my 2 palms or the base of my palms. And this trick right here is fairly advanced for what it is when it comes to palm spin techniques because it involves muscular movements that you're not quite used to doing when you're doing any other palm spin techniques that I've taught so far on my channel. So with all that being considered, we want to talk about the basics and getting this loaded up and ready for you to work it because it's going to take some fundamentals, and learning how to do a 2-ball palm spin technique is very important for understanding the theory behind it, and adding a 3rd ball is going to help a lot. In fact, I think it's kind of like a requirement in order to do this diamond 5-ball palm spin technique, because when you have the 3 spinning, you want to make sure you keep a tight enough tripod in order to put your 4th on top, just like that. But be that as it may, when we're doing this 4-ball pyramid, we're rolling it inside of our palm like this. Now to do this technique, we want to spin the spheres around like this instead. So it's almost like you're doing a pinky lift with your 4-ball pyramid, but you're doing it vertically instead of horizontally. Or you're doing a thumb lift with the other hand, just like that, except you're doing it horizontally instead of vertically. Or vertically instead of horizontally. You know what I mean? We're doing it this way instead of this way. Instead of doing it this way, we're doing it this way, just like this. So your palm spins and your pinky lifts and your thumb lifts will be a very important part of doing this particular technique. You'll use a lot of the same muscle movements as you're doing your pinky lifts and your thumb lifts. So your pinky lifts and thumb lifts can be found in another video I made here on my channel. I'll give you a link down below that will point in that direction so you can begin to teach yourself how to do the 5-ball diamond palm spin technique. Ooh. To be perfectly honest with you too, 5-ball palm spin techniques and 5-ball techniques in general, I never actually do them in my show because I do a 5-ball routine, sure, but it's usually only with 4 spheres of the same size like this, and I generally use a 5th ball, which is a much larger ball, mostly for the sake of balancing on my head or doing a 4-ball stack and maybe isolating another ball next to it for a finale perhaps sometimes. Everyone drops it, don't let it bother you, especially when you're trying to make YouTube videos. It can get very distracting when you're talking to a camera instead of focusing on your art that's happening right in front of your eyes, yes. So with all that being considered, a little word on safety, a little bit of foresight, a little bit of common sense can save you a world of trouble when it comes to practicing. So beware your surroundings. Use your common sense. Don't be practicing this kind of stuff around things you're afraid of damaging or hurting, whether it's a living thing or an item that you put a lot of money into. Use your brains, folks. So to load up the 5-ball diamond technique, a good way to do it that I like to do is you set up by doing half of a pinky lift. So a halfway pinky lift more or less is when you move your pinky and your ring finger up and it causes the top ball to fall off between the other 2 spheres. But what you do is you put your thumb together with your pinky and ring finger and have them join together just like that. And this will enable you to hold the ball between your ring finger and your pointer finger and your middle finger on the other hand, and you can rest it just on top like that. And then once you have it on top, all you have to do now is continue to do your thumb lifts with your right hand and your pinky lifts with your left hand if you're going to go clockwise. Or if you go counterclockwise, you want to do your pinky lifts with your right hand and your thumb lifts with your left hand. And it's going to feel different though because gravity's working in a completely different direction this time, a completely different plane. So you'll have to adapt and kind of feel it out. But if you go nice and slow and deliberate, you'll find yourself being able to do this technique a lot easier. Another way that helps out to do this technique is learning how to keep your plane completely flat while doing it without the ball on top. So what you can do is you can start by learning how to do a 4-ball pinky lift technique, and you do your 4-ball pinky lift technique and you do your 4-ball thumb lift technique and shift it in the other direction. And if you can get used to doing that with just one hand, it's just the same if you add your other fingers on top and allow your other fingers just to kind of caress over top and allow the spheres to roll while the hand that's holding the 4-ball stack does all the work. And then it's as simple as kind of sharing the work or moving the work over to the other hand and work on your pinky lifts with your left hand and your thumb lifts with your left hand as well. My thumb lifts with my left hand are probably the weakest out of all of them. You see I just dropped it. I haven't put that much practice into it because thumb lifts for me can be a little bit more challenging than pinky lifts. I like my pinky lifts because I have 2 fingers lifting up one of the spheres and I catch it with probably my most nimble finger, my thumb. But for some reason, when I'm using my thumb to push it up and I'm catching it with my pinky and ring finger, I don't have as much dexterity. Probably because I haven't been practicing nearly as much, and I take for granted that my right hand is better for doing 4-ball technique. But be that as it may, if you take your time and go nice and slow, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish just after 5 minutes of practice. So when you have your pinky lift and your thumb lift techniques on both hands, you can experiment with doing this and spinning these top 3 balls around while holding the smaller ball underneath. And you want to focus on keeping a nice flat plane. If you're doing it like this, that's not a flat plane, because as you see there, it's angled. It's almost like a 45-degree angle. What we want is a nice flat plane like that. And it's kind of tricky to do that, and it helps to have a profile angle like here. Right here I'm using my camera and I'm looking at the screen that's facing me that shows me that this is not entirely flat, but it's close enough. But if I angle back a little further, it feels like it's towards me, but looking at the camera, it's more perfectly flat. So what you're feeling can be a little deceiving, and what you're looking at can be deceiving to your eyes as well, when in fact it's not perfectly flat, it's aiming too far forward. And when I make it flat, it feels like I'm angling way far back. It feels more exaggerated than it really is when it's perfectly flat. I hope that helps, and I hope it makes sense. Anyways, folks, here you have it. By popular demand, the 5-ball diamond palm spin technique. No one actually demanded that. I just decided to share it because this was one of the wonderful tricks I saw on a website way back in the day called contactjuggling.org. Contactjuggling.org was a website that I used to go to a long time ago to see new and exciting tricks. When it came to contact juggling, it involved a community of people all around the world who created profiles and showed little videos of themselves doing new tricks. And whenever there was a new trick, someone would jump on it and they would name the new trick, whatever they named it, and they would post it online, and they would get credibility within the contact juggling community, and people would like the trick, or they would dislike the trick, or they would critique the trick, or sometimes people would come around and do improvements on it and make the trick even better and show their version of the trick on contactjuggling.org. And this was way back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and I never actually posted any tricks myself. I don't think I've ever actually contributed anything original to the art of contact juggling, except for one trick that I'm not particularly good at. But I'll attempt right here today. I call it the vortex, where I move my forearm around the sphere just like this, and it's not performance ready, and I risk breaking my teeth or my camera while doing it, but I can sometimes land 3 or 4 rotations in a row, and that's pretty exciting. But I'm exhausted right now, and as I said, it's something I've been working on for years and years and years, and it's not quite what I want it to be. But I can get around maybe twice, almost there. Let's see, maybe I can get something. I can go around a couple times, maybe once or twice when I'm lucky. But one time I got about 5 or 6 rotations, and I got so excited I couldn't do it again. All the more reason I like to tell people who are practicing contact juggling, if you find yourself getting excited or frustrated, just put the balls down, come back later when you're more relaxed and receptive, and you'll find that you can do things a lot easier. And right now I'm completely wired. I gotta make some more videos, edit some more videos before I can get to bed, and Renaissance Festival starts tomorrow, which is kind of funny because I'm posting this on Sunday after the Shamrocks and Shenanigans weekend. So I've been talking too much about all the other things that are not related to the 5-ball palm spin technique, and it's time for me to sign off because I got stuff to do, and you probably got stuff to do too. You don't need to be listening to some guy sitting on a Paisley couch in Detroit City talk to you about balls. No, you got a life and you need to get back to it. So with all that being considered, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Please check out my playlist section. I've organized all the content I've made so far this year for the year of 2021 into playlists to make it easier to find something that may or may not pique your interest. And that's all I got. So remember to never give up, and to do your best, and to stay true to you, and be amazing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.